What's up, you sweaty nerds and greasy degenerates? Kafka is arriving in Honkai Star Rail in less than 1 day from now. We're talking about only hours away now. And so I thought it would be important to talk about whether Kafka wants to be built for speed or not. Spoiler alert, she does want to be built for speed, but how much speed do we actually need to hit a certain threshold to make her work really, really well for your team? And unless you're a whale, you're probably not going to be able to use her best in slot relics with the right substats for god rolls for speed. You're probably going to end up wanting to settle for a different set than her best in slot in order to be able to hit those speed numbers you need. So, what relics can we use to be able to hit those speed numbers? What are her synergies for that speed threshold? Let's go ahead and dive into it and stop listening to me banter like an idiot during this intro. Let's go. So, how much speed do we actually want on Kafka? Well, just like with a lot of other characters in the game, if your character has 134 speed, your character will actually be able to go twice per rotation every other cycle, which is very beneficial to a character, especially like Kafka, who wants to be really, really fast so they can use their skill every single turn, getting those DOTs to pop off every single time she has a turn. And I thought initially she only wanted like 134 speed and that would be fine. I've actually found out from other content creators, such as Mr. Pokey, that on the CN network, they actually believe that Kafka wants to be at least 134 speed, but maybe even all the way up to 160 speed. Now 160 speed, we're talking about god rolls. We're talking about, a lot of you probably didn't even know that you could get to 160 speed, because that's insane. Now, most of us aren't going to be able to acquire 160 speed, let's just be honest with ourselves here, but if you get your Kafka to at least 134 speed, you're going to have a meta level Kafka that's going to be able to produce really, really high numbers, and she's going to play really, really fun. You're going to be able to go a lot with her, she's going to have a ton of speed, and if you put Asta on your team with Kafka, Asta has an ultimate that increases the speed of your entire team by a very significant amount. So, even if you're not able to hit that 134 speed, I highly recommend using Asta on your team so you can get that speed buff. Well, if you enjoy the content, maybe consider subscribing, because I found out that 96% of you guys aren't subscribed. Oh my god, do I smell weird? Do I sound weird? Oh my gosh. Maybe just like, I don't know, go down there and just like check to see if you're subscribed or not. I don't know. If you hate me though, leave a hate thread in the comments instead. And I found out today that 10% of y'all are actually women. So, ladies, female representation, let's go. Anyways, back to the video. So as you can see here, this is at level 1, and Asta's ultimate increases the speed of all allies by 36 for 2 turns. This is going to take most characters over that 134 threshold if you weren't already there. And even if you have your Kafka or other DOT characters at above 134, I would still suggest using Asta on your team, because it basically will give your whole entire team extra turns, and this lasts for 2 turns. So this is a really, really solid buff for DOT teams, because, you know, people have a valid concern of whether DOT teams are going to be kind of slow because they have to apply the DOTs first, then detonate them. To be honest, this eliminates all of those problems, and to be honest, after turn 1, once you set the DOTs in motion, it's not really that big of a problem anymore because you're already applying the DOTs. But if you were concerned about it, this is how you eliminate that problem. You build substats for speed on your characters, and you have someone like Asta on your team giving your entire team a speed buff. And by the way, this is only at level 1, so this 36 number is going to go up if you level up Asta's traces. And something to remember with Kafka, by the way, is that a lot of people are considering building Kafka for energy rope, but I would not necessarily go for the energy rope. I'm not gonna do it, for instance, because I'm gonna try the attack percent rope, because the attack percent rope will increase Kafka's DOT damage. DOTs work off of the character's attack percent. And Kafka's going to be using her skill like every single turn. Every single turn she wants to use her skill, every single time. And characters build energy off of their skill faster than they do off of their basic attack. So Kafka's not necessarily going to need that extra energy, and so she can build for attack percent, get more damage off, and still get the energy she needs to use her ultimate very often. When a character has a lot of speed, they actually get to have more turns. They get to build energy faster. People that play Sela know this because through Resurgence, she has extra turns. Seela ultimates faster than probably any other character in the game right now because of those extra turns and because she builds speed off of her skill. So that's what we want to have for Kafka too, and we're gonna get that through her using her skill like every single turn, just like Seela kind of does. So just something to think about there when building Kafka, whether you're questioning whether you want to use energy rope or the attack percent rope, and whether you want to use Asta or not. I highly recommend using Asta, even if you have speed thresholds really high above 134, because you want the whole team to be going really, really fast, and Asta provides that. Asta also has a DOT. She's a support character that has a DOT attached to her. This is going to benefit the whole team as well. In my opinion, Asta is easily the best support character for a Kafka team. So let's go ahead and talk about some relic sets that we can use to increase Kafka's speed if we can't get the right substats on her best in slot relic set. So let's go ahead and look at this particular set. This doesn't increase her speed, but this is arguably her best in slot set because the 2-piece increases the lightning damage by 10%, great on Kafka, and the 4-piece, when the wearer uses their skill, it increases the wearer's attack by 20% for 1 turn. That's insane! She wants to use her skill every single turn. So if you can get to 134 speed or higher with this thunder set, with this electric set, then go ahead and use this because in my opinion this would be the best thing you could do if you get good enough rolls. But if you haven't gotten god rolls, then you might not be able to use this set. For instance, you might be able to use speed boots on her with this set, and you might be able to make up for the lack of speed. I'm not gonna lie here. I don't know what Kafka's speed is when she releases. She releases tomorrow, so we'll find out tomorrow what we can really do about that. But I'll be honest, I don't know what her speed is going to be on release. It might be kind of low, it might be kind of high. We just don't know yet. A single pair of speed boots might be all we need in order to get it done, and this might be her best in slot set because of that. But if you haven't gotten good enough rolls, like for instance, I've been very, very busy. This is my alt account that I'm going to be pulling Kafka for, so I haven't been hyper-focused on farming the relics yet. I've been mostly focused on getting, Luca materials ready and Kafka materials ready because I want to level them both up at the same time. So on day 1, I'm actually going to be using probably this right here, part of the Musketeer set. Let's talk about some relics we can use to increase her speed if we don't have enough speed. So check this out. The 2-piece, you already know about this set, of course. The Musketeer of Wild Wheat increases her attack by 12%. That's good on Kafka. And the 4-piece the wearer's speed increases by 6% and basic attack increases by 10%. We don't really care about the basic attack, but the 6% speed is really nice. So you might want to use maybe the 2-piece of the Musketeer set. I might be doing that. And then there's also this other set here where we have these boots here. This is the new set for supports. The 2-piece increases the speed by 6%. So if you have, and by the way, the 4-piece, when the wearer uses their ultimate on an ally, the speed of all allies increases by 12% for 1 turn. This effect cannot be stacked. So this is kind of like having Asta's ultimate on a relic set. So my suggestion, if you have Asta, is to use this speed set on a support character like Asta. So put this speed set on your Asta, and with the Wild Wheat set, you could use the 4-piece of this set as well. If you have a really solid 4-piece, like if you see this body piece I have, this has attack percent, it has speed, crit damage, and look at the break effect here. Break effect is really great on DOT characters. So this is a really solid piece to use on Kafka. I might be using a mix of the 2-piece of the Wild Wheat and then a 2-piece of this here speed set. These aren't the relics I'm going to be using. This is just an example. But that's something you might want to consider there. Maybe the 4-piece of the Wild Wheat set, or potentially a 2-piece Wild Wheat and 2-piece of this speed set here, which is normally a support set, but it does work on Kafka as well. If you haven't gotten good enough rolls on her best in slot damage set, but if you have gotten good enough rolls on her best in slot damage set, you might not need to go for the speed sets over here. So just something to be aware of. If you can get god rolls on the Sizzling Thunder set, on this electric set, I would use this. If you can reach that 134% threshold or higher, I would use this one. But if you can't, Wild Wheat 4-piece works, or the 2-piece Wild Wheat and the 2-piece the speed set also works very well as well. In fact, that might be what I'm using at the start for day 1 while I farm out better stats on this electric set here. So that's just some last minute information on how you might be able to fix your speed problem with Kafka, if you even have a speed problem with Kafka. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like and subscribe. It does really help the channel. If you hated it, go ahead and leave a hate thread in the comments. I don't care. I'll retaliate by eating your cookies. Anyways, I'm going to go because I got a lot of farming to do for Kafka. Good luck on your 50-50s because let's be honest, we're all going to need it. Anyways, I'll catch you next time. Peace out.